International Training for Elders and Responsible Ones. October 2022. Week 3. Day 2. Morning Nourishment. Ephesians 4:2. With all lowliness and meekness, with long-suffering, bearing one another in love. Ephesians 4:15-16. But holding to truth in love, we may grow up into him in all things, who is the head, Christ, out from whom all the body, being joined together and being knit together through every joint of the rich supply and through the operation in the measure of each one part, causes the growth of the body unto the building up of itself in love. In Ephesians 4 the phrase in love is used 3 times. Verse 2 says, with all lowliness and meekness, with long-suffering, bearing one another in love. Bearing one another in love is for the oneness of the body. Our natural humanity does not have the ability to bear others, especially troublesome ones. To bear others in love is not merely to tolerate them. To love only certain kinds of saints is not to bear others in love but to make choices according to our preference. Many saints experience a honeymoon period when they first come into the church life. This period usually ends quickly due to a lack of bearing others in love. We often unintentionally offend one another by what we say. Because of this we need to learn to not pay attention to negative speaking. To practice this is not easy. In order to remain in the church life, we need to be prepared to be bothered and criticized. Even the Apostle Paul was criticized by the saints in a church that he took care of. We can be one who bears others if we are in love. If we are in the divine love, loving the Lord with this love, we will not care for others' criticism but will quickly let it go. The way to bear one another is by being in love. Today's reading. The next verse in Ephesians that uses the phrase in love is 4:15, holding to truth in love, we may grow up into him in all things, who is the head, Christ. To hold to truth is to hold whatever is real, whatever is true. According to Ephesians, the true, real things are Christ and his body. Thus, to hold to truth is to hold to Christ and the church. We need to do this in love. We must love the Lord and the church, his body, with the divine love. In this way our love can be in incorruptibility. Verse 16 says, out from whom all the body, being joined together and being knit together through every joint of the rich supply and through the operation in the measure of each one part, causes the growth of the body unto the building up of itself in love. All the members of the body cause the growth of the body so that it can be built up in love. In order for the church to be built up not merely as a congregation or assembly but as a body organically, we must all function in love. We each need to love Christ and the church, including all the members, with the divine love. It is in this condition that we love the Lord in incorruptibility. Ephesians 5:2 says, walk in love, even as Christ also loved us and gave himself up for us, an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet-smelling savor. This love is not the natural human love but the divine love. We need to walk, to live, act, and have our being, in the divine love, and it is the divine love with which we should love others. Paul concludes this epistle with a blessing, grace be with all those who love our Lord Jesus Christ in incorruptibility. We need to love the Lord not in a wild way or in any selfish desire or natural good intention but in incorruptibility. In this kind of love we can be made holy and without blemish, be rooted and grounded, bear one another for the oneness of the body, and hold to truth, to Christ as the head and the church as the body, so that we could be joined, knit, and build up together in the body as an organism for the expression of Christ. We also need to walk and have our being in the divine love. If we love the Lord in these things, we love Him in incorruptibility. This is the end of today's morning revival.